So I want to go over some basic equipment just to have in your kitchen. You don't need a lot, especially like gimmicky little tools. If you have some good basics, you'll be set. So first of all, definitely just have a sieve or a colander. When it comes to pots, you want a couple different sizes of varying deepnesses. So this is a great one just to have for like veggies or some pasta. You want a slightly larger one. You can even go a little bit bigger than this one. And then you want a stock pot. If you've got 3 deep pots of different sizes, that's all you really need. You can always fill in the gaps if you want, but have those as like starters. A skillet. If you do want a nonstick, go for the nonstick, or just have a nice skillet around. This is a Calphalon, it's been around forever. I think it's older than me. They hold up if you invest in them. If you want a cast iron, I highly recommend a cast iron. They can roast, they can go on the stovetop, they can go in the oven. They're great for absolutely everything. You can get one with grill lines on it if you want a grill pan, but if you take care of them, they will last generations. So it's worth getting one and having it around. Going into the realm of roasting or baking, you want to have a couple of baking trays or sheet pans. Anything that has a lip on it is great for throwing vegetables on it, or even something like ribs. Then also want the flat ones without edges for any sort of baking or even putting under something. So just some cookie sheets are great to have around. If you want to invest, I highly recommend getting something heavy with a lid. A good Dutch oven is great for stews, braising things. It can be on the stovetop or in the oven. Again, it'll last generations if you have it around and take care of it. So I do recommend having one. For prep stuff, you want to have a couple cutting boards. I tend to just use wooden cutting boards. You can have plastic, you can have whatever you want, just have a couple variations, a few different sizes. These are easy to wipe down and maintain. By no means do you need anything like 2 knife blocks of knives, but I will make mention that having a knife block is a great way to store them. Not only does it protect the blade, keep it from rusting, it also allows you to pick up a knife in exactly the position that you should be holding a knife. The 3 knives that I think you should start with, I would say have a chef's knife, and you can choose your size. So this is a 6-inch, which is actually one of the smaller of chef's knives. 8-inch is a pretty standard one, and this one is actually weighted as well. So you can choose to have a 6-inch to get comfortable, 8-inch is standard, or you can go up to a 10-inch. I wouldn't go any larger than a 10-inch. I like an 8. I started with a 6 to get comfortable. Basically, you can have that every day as your go-to knife. And the only other 2 that you really need are a serrated bread knife, which is obviously great for bread. They also are perfect for citrus and tomatoes, anything that you actually want that saw edge for. And last is a little paring knife, just for smaller jobs, taking the hulls off of strawberries. If you just have a few herbs that you want to run a knife through really quickly, these would be my 3 starters. An 8-inch chef's knife, a serrated bread knife, and a paring knife. And then it just comes to having some other just go-to tools. You want a ladle, you want some whisks. Again, you don't need like all of them, but have a whisk, have a ladle, have a pair of tongs. They're good for grabbing things. I can't recommend a slotted spoon enough. I kind of feel like it's a forgotten tool. Shears, kitchen shears come in handy in that case too, having some kitchen twine. Buy it once, you'll never run out of it. Some spatulas, anything from a rubber spatula. These are particularly good for scraping out bowls. Metal spatulas obviously are the most classic, good for picking things up. And then what I use instead of wooden spoons, so you can decide if you want a wooden spoon or a wooden spatula, these are just great for everyday pot stirring, getting things going. So I know I ran through a lot, but if we can just focus in on the bare minimum essentials, you've got your pots. Have a couple deep ones of different sizes, including a stock pot. Have a few skillets, non-stick or not, it's up to you. Get a cast iron if you like to, they last forever. Have some cutting boards. A Dutch oven will never do you wrong. It's great to have around. 3 knives, an 8-inch chef's, or 6 or 10, a paring knife, and a serrated bread knife, which is also great for tomatoes and citrus. And then you just have your tools. So have a couple slotted spoons, they're great for picking things up. Have a ladle, have a whisk or two, have some tongs, again, you need them to pick things up. A rolling pin if you want, but a wine bottle works just as well. Kitchen shears, kitchen twine, and a few spatulas. A metal one, a rubber one for scraping bowls out, and a couple wooden spatulas or spoons for stirring the pot. And if you have any other questions, please pop them below. I know that's a lot of information, but I'm happy to explain things, say like the next level of things that you should get, but go forth, go buy, don't buy too much, you'll be good to go.